Hey, what is up guys? How's it going? This is Fergie here, back from A Squad Gaming, and today I am happy to bring to you guys the first of many Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition video guides. Now, this first series we're going to be doing is an entire 100% walkthrough of the full story of the game. This is going to include every kind of energy orb, every map, every collectible, every secret, and everything in between. Now, there are going to be two versions of this guide. There's a commentary version and a non-commentary version, because a lot of people will enjoy watching this without commentary. Even in the commentary version, however, I'm going to try not to speak up during cutscenes and important story pivotal moments, things like that. I'm really only going to talk when it's necessary and when I feel like I need to. So, that being said, let's jump right into this here. We are going to be playing both of these on hard difficulty. It is the same footage, however, I'm just going to be talking over this one. So, you can follow along as you wish. It doesn't have to be on hard, it can be on any difficulty, and we really do hope you enjoy. Now, after that short precursor or intro to the story, we are finally able to take control of Ori, and we will quickly realize that this is a beautiful side-scrolling game based on kind of Metroid Castlevania games. It's under a genre kind of known as Metroidvania. However, it does have a lot of its own twists and different changes that are really going to liven things up compared to a lot of other games you played previously. This is a very, very highly rated game, and that is obviously why they've come out with this definitive edition. This definitive edition is going to include a couple new different abilities, a couple new areas, and lots of new secrets to check out. So that's one of the main reasons we're jumping on this guide now when we are. So once we finally take control of Ori, you're going to be led through some of the controls and things like that. We won't get into that. The game is pretty straightforward when it comes to how you play, how the controls work. However, there are a few different places where you can get stuck actually in a few different secrets you might want to uncover, a few strategies you might need to know in order to help you progress through this game a little bit better. So we're going to make our way down here through this first area, and we're going to uncover a few new secrets, unlock a few more ideas in the stories. But first of all, we're going to unlock our very first energy cell. Now, we will see down there in the bottom left, not bottom left, but on the bottom to the left side of our energy light orb bar, we're going to unlock an energy cell, and this is going to allow us to actually save our area wherever we are in the game. Now, saving is very important in this game. It's called using the soul link, and when we do this, since death is immediate and since your respawning is immediate, you respawn wherever you last saved, and you can actually override that save and continue to save in order to check your progress. There's no other saving except for on very pivotal, extreme points in time throughout the story and things like that. Otherwise, you're going to have to save on your own, so keep that in mind and save whenever necessary. We're going to actually gain that energy back very, very often and very quickly later on in the game. We are also able to unlock more of it. Now, after making our way to the end of the cavern, we are going to unlock our first ability, and this is called Spirit Flame. We're also going to be attacked by a few enemies. I, however, have no idea what any of the different enemies are named in this game. We can kind of assume based on how they behave and things like that, but I'm really not even going to bother with trying to name them. However, these are 3 jumpy frog type characters, and they're just going to attempt to land on you. They're pretty easy to take out, as the game's going to tell you you can spam X in order to use Spirit Flame. And this is actually going to be one of our main methods, if not our primary method of attack throughout the entire game. We are able to strengthen it, make it more powerful, and things like that as well. So make sure you're taking advantage of that, as it's going to open up some more areas here as we backtrack. We're going to be able to destroy some of those purple blobs of poison or whatever they are, and that's going to allow us to make our way throughout the map a little bit more. We're also going to take our first look at the map here. This is really how the map is laid out throughout the entire game. It's going to expand, though, obviously. We also have a percentage wheel that kind of shows you how much you've done in that specific area. We are in Sunken Glades right now, and this is the first area in the game. Now, after we gain enough Spirit Light, which you will clearly find a lot throughout the game, even up to this point, we're going to unlock our first ability point. And once we save, we're able to access the ability tree where this ability point can be spent. Now, there are 3 different trees. There's one based on attacking and being aggressive. There's one based on locating things and kind of survivability skills. And there's one based primarily on defense, saving, and keeping yourself alive. So this point can be used on any of the 3 trees at first, and as you move further up the tree, and also depending on your difficulty, the skills are going to become more and more expensive as far as ability points go. So keep that in mind as well, and kind of think about, look at the abilities, how exactly you want to play. You can follow along with how I unlock my abilities, but nothing is stopping you from doing otherwise. So keep that in mind as well, as there's really no correct way to do this.
Now after we break through the purple poison globs on the far right side of this area, we're going to actually unlock our first spirit well. And this is a main primary saving and warp area of the game. There are going to be several of these, I think about a dozen throughout the game, and they're going to allow us to warp between one another because some points on the map are very, very far away, and as opposed to running all the way over there and jumping and finding your way, you can use these spirit wells in order to just warp to one you've already unlocked. However, we can't warp to the ones we haven't seen yet, so this is really irrelevant for now besides the fact that we can save. Also, you're going to see an area up to your right which leads to a completely different new area, which is actually specific to the definitive edition, and we will talk about that much later, so just keep that in mind. I wouldn't worry about it just yet. Now that we make our way a little bit further through the map, we're actually going to unlock a new little area where we can actually pull a boulder to the left, and this is going to unlock our first keystone. Now, keystones, as the tip describes, can be used on spirit gates, and there are several different kinds of spirit gates throughout the world. These, however, are going to be used on ones that are specifically used with keystones. So each spirit gate is going to require a different number of keystones. This first one, however, only requires 2, so we've already got one. Now we just need to track down the other. Obviously, we haven't even seen the gate yet, so we're probably on the right track as far as that goes. After reaching the next area through the spirit gate, we're going to uncover a few different things if we climb up a little ways. This is a special kind of spirit gate which can only be opened by a special spectral blast that we're going to learn later on, so we really can't open that yet and access the spirit light. However, if we jump across and go to the left side, we're going to actually be able to find our first life cell. And this is going to increase our life capacity by 1 kind of heart. If you're familiar with The Legend of Zelda or something like that, this is very, very similar, whereas the more you get, the more health you have. And there are actually 12 of these throughout the game, so we can have a total of 15 life cells, which is going to be very, very helpful, especially if you're playing on a harder difficulty. There are 15 energy cells as well in order to have a total of 15 of those, so keep that in mind. If you track them all down, you're going to be much, much better off, especially if you get it done early, which we will be doing in this very guide. Now, as we move further down, we're going to uncover our first map stone, and these are just as important as the spirit wells, but they serve a very, very different purpose. Now, whereas the spirit wells allow you to save, the map stones allow you to see the entire area around you, and also depending on how far you've progressed through your spirit trees, we're going to be able to see more and more of the things around us that are unlockable and uncoverable and all different kinds of secrets and things like that. However, each map stone needs a special map key. We are not currently in possession of that, so we've got to run around a little bit and see if we can locate it. And that's going to open up the area around us and allow us to see more where things are and how to get where we need to go. Now, as we make our way down to the bottom of the Spirit Caverns area, we're going to uncover our first ancestral tree. Now, there are 11 of these throughout the game, and each of these is going to teach us a special new ability, which is going to come in a lot of handy. These are our primary uses of attack, of movement, and all different kinds of things like that. This first one is called Wall Jump, and it's going to explain how to use it. This is going to allow us to climb literally as high as we want on a flat surface, just based on spamming A and moving up and up and up. Now, if we actually move to the left and just climb up a little ways using our new ability, we're going to unlock our second energy cell. This is going to give us double the energy, which means we can save more often and do a lot of other things later on throughout the game which require energy. So we're also going to make our way out of this area using this ability. If you tried to backtrack before learning the ability, you would realize that it's impossible because you need to be able to climb. So you can see how helpful this is going to be later on, and we can actually kind of exploit some of the areas which you might need other abilities early on using this wall jump and some kind of precise jumps and things like that. So keep that in mind and make your way out of the area to track down a couple of spirit keys which we need for the spirit gates, as well as the map stone. Now, this puzzle we're presented with here is actually one of the first difficult puzzles throughout the game. There are going to be several more like this that we're going to see later on, but this one being the first is a little bit more difficult and make things a little harder to figure out, but I'm going to show you guys how we can get through it nice and easy, no matter what difficulty you're on, without losing a lot of damage. You'll also notice that I have earned my third skill point, which means I can earn this third skill tree on the bottom. This is going to, number one, allow most pickups to float to me. It's going to allow me to rekindle my soul links or my save area so I don't have to use more energy. It's also going to increase the fire rate of my spirit flame. So once we get up on top here with these moving purple spike things, we need to push this boulder to the end, which you'll realize if you run to the other end. And what we really want to do is just push them through the center and stand in the center pieces of these moving spikes. Now, they'll hurt you if you actually come in contact with the heads, but if you're at the neck or at the base of this object, they're going to move through you as if you're not even there. So that's really the best thing to do, just allow them to hit the boulder and be patient and stand in the middle. This is going to let us find our very first keystone for the spirit gate, which we saw earlier. You can also climb up and grab this larger portion of spirit light, which is going to get us closer to yet another ability point. Now, you'll notice that throughout this game, patience is really a virtue, and if you rush over and over and over again, you're just going to continuously die, and it's really going to frustrate you. So just remember patience, wait things out, and don't try to slam through the game and slam through puzzle areas as fast as you can, because it's really going to result in more deaths and a lot more struggle for you. So once we finally reach the end of this area after getting the keystone and other things, we're going to find the mapstone fragment. This is exactly what we were looking for, to open up the area and let us see more of what's around us as far as what's on the map. Now that we open up the mapstone fragment, although we've already seen a majority of what's around us, it's going to open up a little bit more, and we can see some other areas which we're going to use to access the spirit tree, which is our current destination as far as the storyline goes. So once we use these mapstones, especially with more abilities unlocked, it's going to show us the location of many, many important things. We're also going to find the second keystone, which we need to open the spirit gate, and this is going to allow us to access the next area, which is hopefully going to get us one step closer to the spirit tree.